us now is Tony Perkins, president of Family Research Council. Tony, thank you for being here. Tony, let's start there. Between student loan forgiveness, social media targeting, the aftermath of the Roe decision, Democrats are working really hard to win these young voters. Is it going to make a big difference come November?
Well, now let's not connect the student loan to turning young people out to vote. That's not supposed to be the case, but in fact, I think it actually is. When we're looking at something that's going to cost taxpayers billions of dollars, it comes at a very suspicious time, right before the fall election. I would say this, though. I think the issue of abortion and the Dobbs case cuts both ways. I think when you look at the younger generation, very pro-life, I think the question has to be asked of many of these Democratic candidates that are now trying to put Republicans on the defensive, and frankly, they're doing a pretty good job at this point. But Republicans need to ask, all right, what's the line for these Democrats? At what point would they not allow abortion? Is it the day before birth? Is it the day after birth? Is it when the child feels pain? Is it when there's a heartbeat? At what point would they agree that this is a human life that needs to be protected? I think that's the question that voters and Republicans need to be asking these Democratic candidates.
You know, as we just reported also, Leader McCarthy is set to unveil the GOP commitment to America. So do you think Republicans need to unify ahead of these midterms?
Oh, I think so. I think they need to go on the offense. I see this in the context of, let me use a military analogy, the D-Day invasion, largest amphibious assault in the history of modern warfare. And I think what we saw in Dobbs was a huge, significant cultural, political, and I would add spiritual victory for the sanctity of human life. But, you know, after D-Day and that huge victory, which was very costly, but it was a huge victory, then we had the Nazis regathering, and we had the Battle of the Bulge, in which World War II almost lost. We almost lost it. The Allied forces almost lost it. So I think to see this counter-offensive that's taking place, pushing back on this recognition of the sanctity of human life should not take us by surprise. I think there was some complacency. I think we're 9 weeks away from the election. 2 months ago, people thought that it was going to be a sweep for Republicans. It's changed at this moment. It will and can change again. I feel pretty confident. It's a matter of taking the message to the voters. And I will say this is a turnout election. Everybody needs to be registered, and they need to be voting their values, and that includes Christians across this country.
Now, in this political climate, you often hear people decry mixing faith and politics, but in just a week, your FRC is hosting the Pray, Vote, Stand Summit. I've been to this summit. It's amazing, but tell us what the goal is.
Well, it's just that, 3 action steps. Pray. We're going to be praying for our nation. We're going to be talking about voting, our biblical values, encouraging people to go back home, register voters, educate voters, and to stand for biblical truth. And the whole 2.5 days is going to be about equipping Christians to do just that. We're going to hear from Governor Mike Huckabee. Governor Brian Kemp is going to be there. We're going to hear from Jensen Franklin. Just an extensive list of Christian leaders who are going to be there, encouraging, challenging, educating Christians from across this country at a very critical moment in the nation at the time of in the history of our nation.
Absolutely, Tony. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you.